Do you know the different issues that you need to be aware of? As a youth, what help can you offer to solve these issues? In this lesson, you will learn various social, moral, and economic issues discussed in the text listened to. I am Teacher Vicky, and welcome to another episode of Innovative Learning. These are the learning objectives that you need to master in this lesson. The first one is recognize the type of the issue discussed in the text listened to. It could be social, moral, or economic issues. The second one, select details of the text that indicate the type of issues discussed. And the third one, reflect on the importance of being aware in these various social, moral, and economic issues. This is your MELC 3, Week 4 of your lesson in your learner's packet. Determine various social, moral, and economic issues discussed in the text. Let us do the learning task number 1. Read and study the given meaning below and try to decode the word being described by using the number that represents the letter in the alphabet. A is for 1, B is for 2, and so on and so forth. Let's have this word. This means capable of conforming to the rules of right conduct. What do you think is the word being referred to this meaning? You got it right. That is moral. Again, moral. Very good. Let's have the second meaning. Relating to, devoted to, or characterized by friendly companionship or relations. The keyword there is friendly companionship. You got it right. The meaning or the word is social. Again, social. Let's have the third one. It means involving or pertaining to one's personal resources of money or money. The word is economic. One more time. Economic. Very good. Let's have the learning task number 2. What do you know? This is what you have to do. Observe the pictures, then answer the question below. What can you infer in these pictures? This is the question that you have to answer. You have to comment your answer below on the comment section. Can you determine the issue presented in the pictures, such as moral, social, or economic? I'll be waiting for your comments. Now in this activity, all you need to do is just study the lines taken from Miss Pia Wurtzbach's answer during the Miss Universe 2015 Q&A portion. Distinguish facts from opinions and decide what type of issue being discussed from her answer. I think that the US and the Philippines have good relationship with each other. We have been colonized by Americans. I'll be giving you 5 minutes or maybe 3 minutes to answer this question. In this answer, we could infer that the first statement is an opinion associated with social issues, since it deals with a relationship of two countries, which is recognized by the people within the society, while the second one is a fact that deals with economic aspect, which states the situation of our country before, where people somehow experience unsatisfactory and difficulties during those times. Let's have another activity. Get your notebook and listen to the instruction. Study the following images and decide what issues are being shown. Write S if it displays social issue, M if moral issue, and E if economic issue. Look at this picture. What kind of issue is this? Is this S social, M moral, or E economic? This is teenage pregnancy. Very good. That is a moral issue, M. Let's have another picture. This is drug on or drug war in the Philippines. What kind of issue is this? Is this social, moral, or economic? Very good. That is social. Another one. In this picture it shows poverty. That's correct. It's economic, letter E. How about this one? In some other countries, abortion is being legalized. That's correct. That is moral issue. And what about this one? Corruption. Philippine economic growth, corruption. What do you think is the issue? Very good. This is social issue. And last one, unemployment. Very good. That is economic issue. Now let us discuss the meaning of the three issues or type of issues. We have social, moral, and economic issue. Social is a problem that influences many citizens within a society. Poverty, unemployment, unequal opportunity, racism, and malnutrition are examples of social problems. While moral issues are those actions which have the potential to help or harm others or ourselves. Notice that if we have an issue of moral concern, it might involve something good or evil. And the last is economic issues. Facing the world economy, as well as regions and countries, include prospects for growth, inflation, energy, and the environment, inequality, labor issues, emerging markets, and the impact of new technologies. These are the examples of social issues. We have different forms of discrimination, broken family, sabotage, bullying, peace and order, prostitution, and many others. The examples of moral issues are gay marriage, stealing, abortion, teenage pregnancy, illicit affairs, gambling, graft and corruption, prostitution, and a lot more. And for the economic issues, these are the examples. We have poverty, inflation, environmental issues, and health issues. Now, you just have to determine the various social, moral, and economic issues in this transcript interview of North Korean girl Yeonmi Park during One Young World Summit 2014. If you have your internet access or gadget at home, then you may watch this video on this link. I'll be reading this transcript. You may just read with me. I have to do this because this is not me speaking. This is the people who wanted to tell the world what they want to say. North Korea is an unimaginable country. There is only one channel on TV. There is no internet. We aren't free to sing, say, wear, or think what we want. North Korea is the only country in the world that executed people for making unauthorized international phone calls. North Koreans are being terrorized today. When I was growing up in North Korea, I never saw anything about love stories between men and women. No books, no songs, no press, no movies about love stories. There is no Romeo and Juliet. Every story was propaganda to promote Kim dictators. I was born in 1993 and I was abducted at birth even before I knew the words freedom or human rights. North Koreans are desperately seeking and dying for freedom at this moment. When I was 9 years old, I saw my friend's mother publicly executed. Her crime? Watching a Hollywood movie. Expressing doubt about the greatness of the regime can get 3 generations of a family imprisoned or executed. When I was 4 years old, I was warned by my mother not to even whisper. The birds and mice couldn't hear me. I admit it. I thought the North Korean dictator could read my mind. My father died in China after we escaped North Korea, and I had to bury him at 3 a.m. in secret. I was 14 years old. I couldn't even cry. I was afraid to be sent back to North Korea. The day I escaped North Korea, I saw my mother raped. The rapist was a Chinese broker. He targeted me. I was 13 years old. There is a saying in North Korea, women are weak, but mothers are strong. My mother allowed herself to be raped in order to protect me. North Korean refugees, about 300,000, are vulnerable in China. 70% of North Korean women, teenage girls, are being victimized, sometimes sold for as little as $200. We walked across the Gobi Desert, following a compass. When that stopped working, we followed stars to freedom. I felt only the stars were with us. Mongolia was our freedom moment. Death or dignity. Armed with knives, we were prepared to kill ourselves if we were going to be sent back to North Korea. We wanted to live as humans. People often ask me, how can we help North Koreans? There are many ways, but I would like to mention 3 for now. 1. Educate yourself so you can raise awareness about the human rights crisis in North Korea. 2. Help and support North Korean refugees who are trying to escape to freedom. 3. Petition China to stop repatriation. We have to shed light on the darkest place in the world. It isn't just North Korean human rights, it's our rights that the North Korean dictators have violated for 7 decades. We need governments around the world to put more pressure on China to stop repatriation. In particular, Chinese delegates of One Young World can play a part by speaking out. North Korea is indescribable. No humans deserve to be oppressed just because of their birthplace. We need to focus less on the regime and more on the people who are being forgotten. One Young World. We are the ones who will make them visible. Fellow delegates, please join me as we make this a global movement to free North Koreans. When I was crossing the Gobi Desert, scared of dying, I thought nobody in this world cared. It seemed that only the stars were with me. But you have listened to my story. You have cared. Thank you very much. Now in this activity, statements below are taken from Yeonmi Park's speech. All you need to do is just identify which among statements express social issue, moral issue, or economic issue. Let's have number 1. North Koreans are desperately seeking and dying for freedom. What do you think is this issue? Is this social, moral, or economic issue? Very good. It's social issue. Freedom is the key word there. Number 2. I saw my mother raped. The rapist was a Chinese broker. The keyword here is rape. That's correct. Moral issue. Number 3. 70% of North Korean women, teenage girls, are being victimized, sometimes sold for as little as $200. So it's all about prostitution, something like that. Now, what do you think is this issue? That's correct. It's moral issue. Let's have the fourth one. There is only one channel on TV. There is no internet. We aren't free to sing, say, wear, or think what we want. They don't have freedom at all. What kind of issue is this? You got it right. Very good. That is social issue. Number 5. No books, no songs, no press, no movies about love stories. There is no Romeo and Juliet. Every story was about propaganda to promote the Kim dictators. That's correct. It's again social issue. They don't have freedom at all. No press freedom. It's a social issue. Now, before we proceed to the quiz, let me ask you, do you understand how to determine various social, moral, and economic issues? If you have any other questions, then you may type it on the comment box and I will read it and I will address it on the next video. Alright, so let's have this quiz. Read the statements carefully and then choose the letter of the correct answer. Let's have number 1. A survey reveals that 53% of the country's population is unemployed. This is an example of A. Social issues, B. Economic issues, C. Moral issues, or D. None of the above. Very good. The answer is economic issue, letter B. It's more of unemployment. The keyword there is unemployed. Number 2. The sentence Regina refused to go to school because her classmates always tease her skin color is an example of A. Social issues, B. Economic issues, C. Moral issues, or D. None of the above. Very good. It's social issues. Discrimination, any form of discrimination, racial discrimination to be specific. Number 3. We live in a troubled time. A pandemic, virulent virus, suddenly snapped our dream of prosperity for our country. President Duterte said, what economic issue is being emphasized in this line? A. Peace and order concerns, B. Health concerns, C. Inflation, or D. Stealing. That's right. The answer is letter B. Health concern. About pandemic, virus. What kind of issue do you think this line suggests? The amount of shabu valued at millions of pesos seized during the police operations speaks volume of enormity in the weight of the problem that we bear. A. Moral, B. Economic, C. Social, D. Both A and C. Very good. The answer is social. Letter C. Number 5. What issue in the society does this line? He asked for solidarity and unity in the march towards the light at the end of the tunnel. Suggest A. Economic, B. Moral, C. Social, D. Both A and B. Very good. The answer is social again, letter C. Thank you very much for learning with me. I hope to see you on the next video. Have a good day. Bye!